In my previous flow, I set up an appointment reminder. Now I want to take that one step further and go ahead and follow that up with a post-appointment feedback flow to capture the client feedback after they've received a service. Let's go ahead and do that by starting to create a new flow. Similar to before, the first step in defining a flow is aligning it to some data. In this case, I'm selecting my session survey object, where all my survey responses will be captured. I'm giving it a brief name and a description so that I know what it is. Once I've named it, I can decide how it's going to trigger. In this case, I'd like this survey to be sent every day, but only to specific clients. I'm going to set it as a schedule, define a start date and time, and then select a recurrence. Now that I've set my recurrence, I want to make sure that I'm only sending it to the right clients. I don't want it to be sent to everyone every single day as I've defined in this schedule, so I'm going to set up some segmentation. The first criteria, I'm going to select the client appointment, the date, and make sure that that's equal to yesterday. Therefore, I'm going to use a date formula. Date formulas essentially act like a moving window, regardless of what date this flow is sent. Secondly, I'm going to add some further segmentation by ensuring that it's only sent to services that were actually delivered. In this case, I'm filtering out any appointments that were already cancelled. So to quickly recap what I've done, I've aligned it to some data in my CRM. I've set up a recurring schedule to set this to 12 p.m. every day, and I've segmented it to only the relevant individuals. In this case, it's anyone that received an appointment the previous day where the status wasn't already cancelled. To start my flow, I'd like to send an outbound SMS. I'm going to drag that onto the canvas, which brings up my template selector. I've got some pre-made templates and one that aligns to my first question. In my template, I'm asking someone to reply as to whether they had a good or a bad experience. Once I've defined my outbound SMS, I can now define how people are going to respond. In this case, I'm dragging out two response nodes, one aligned to those which had a positive experience, and a second node to those which had a negative experience. To make sure I understand how people are responding, I'm going to enter some keywords. These keywords will help Pendula understand what people's intentions are in their responses. In this case, I'm entering some positive keywords, such as good, happy, positive. Once I've defined those inbound responses, I want to go ahead and ensure we capture and update information automatically. I'm going to drag across an update field node. The information I'll be updating will be on the session survey, the service experience field, and I'm going to set the value to positive. Now that I've been able to capture and understand someone's positive experience, to close out the conversation, I'm simply going to drag out another SMS and thank the client for their feedback. Now onto the negative side of my flow. Similar to before, I'll be defining some keywords. However, in this case, it's aligned to understanding a negative experience. Therefore, my keywords reflect that. Once again, I'm updating some information in the CRM. However, this time, the value will be set to negative. I'm dragging across another outbound SMS. However, this time I'd like to ask whether they'd prefer one of our team to give them a call to see if they could make the situation better. To make sure I understand how people are responding, I'm going to enter some keywords. I'm updating some information in the CRM. Similar to the path above, I'm closing out the conversation by making sure the customer's aware that I've understood their responses. As a final step, I'm adding in case creation. This will automatically create a case record in my CRM and populate any relevant information that pertains to this particular situation. Now that my flow is complete, I'm zooming out and taking one final look. Once I'm satisfied, I'm clicking Save and Activate, and it's ready to go. If you'd like to learn more, visit our website at pendula.com.